If you want to get in contact with me, the best way to do it is on Patreon. If you want exclusive footage, if you want behind the scenes content, if you want your product or music on this show, the best way to do that is on Patreon. Peace, y'all. Jonny Fastlane here. So, Twitter seems to think that Drake versus Lil TJay would be a good versus battle, and Lil Bow Wow airs out old ass rappers. Let's talk hip hop. Alright, yo, so y'all know the other day, Jeezy and Gucci Mane did their versus battle, right? And it was the biggest versus battle ever, right? It was bigger than the MTV Music Awards. It was bigger than the Masked Singer and America's Got Talent. It was bigger than, Dancing with the Stars and the Latin Grammys. It was huge, right? I think like all together from all different platforms, YouTube, Instagram, Apple TV, it was probably close to 8 million people that watched in that one night, right? Dope as hell. So a lot of people like, yo, we need to see Drake in the versus battle, right? And a lot of people saying, yo, Drake versus Lil Wayne, which could be okay, right? Some people are saying Drake versus Kanye West, which also, might be all right. Drake versus Travis Scott, somebody that's on Drake's level, right? But for some reason, Twitter seems to think that Drake versus Lil TJay would be a good versus battle, to the point where they actually put up a whole list of 20 tracks with Drake versus Lil TJay, right? And for y'all that don't know, Drake has been in the game for, over 10 years now, and Lil TJay is XXL freshman 2020, right? So Lil TJay just came out. He came out like 2 or 3 years ago, but he's still a new rapper, right? He's from the Bronx. Y'all know Drake is from Toronto, but this whole situation is crazy. So, somebody puts it together, right? God's Plan versus Mood Swings, right? Hotline Bling versus Pop Out, right? One Dance versus FN. Work versus Hold On. Hold On, We're Going Home versus 2020, right? Crazy as hell, right? Now, a lot of people on Twitter, were like, yeah, I hear you, but this is crazy. Somebody said, this is a mental health test, LOL, right? Somebody else said, the fact that somebody even actually typed out Drake versus Lil TJay is wild to me, right? Somebody else, though, said, oh, I got Lil TJay 20, Drake 0. Drake ain't touching this masterpiece, right? Even Lil TJay had to chime in on it. He said, Drake is the GOAT, and I'm only 19. Y'all, Twitter, y'all wild, right? Which is true. Then somebody else put up a poll, and 30,000 people voted on it. I voted on it too, and 80% of the people said Drake, 20% said Lil TJay. And this is not saying that Lil TJay is a trash rapper or whack or horrible or anything. And I think Lil TJay is dope, and he's from New York, so I support all New York artists. But Drake, who's been in the game, who's a living legend, and then Lil TJay, who's just getting started. There's no comparison. I don't even know why Twitter even did this, right? But let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Alright, yo, so Lil Bow Wow goes on his Insta story, right? And he has something to say to like old rappers, right? So he's like, some of these older guys are starting to look like haters, right? You're not supposed to understand the music, but let's praise these young artists for making a way for themselves. Some of y'all old heads have to accept that it's over and you have to find a new way to continue your legacy. Doesn't look good on y'all resume. And he says, I'm all for what's going on, and I love what these young brothers is doing. Keep it up, guys. Now is your time and the future of this business. Don't let nobody tell you different, right? And cool. So Lil Bow Wow is basically saying like, yo, there's a lot of old heads that are hating on the younger rappers, right? And I don't think that he's talking about anybody specifically or anything like that, but he probably just seen like some older rappers hating on younger rappers on social media, right? And I just have to say this, right? It's not every older rapper, because some older rappers really do mess with younger rappers. Like 50 Cent is one of those older dudes that's a legend. He's been in the game, but he does mess with younger rappers. Pop Smoke, even when 6ix9ine was popping, 50 Cent was chilling with 6ix9ine and hanging out with him and said that he likes 6ix9ine's music, right? But there are some older people, and not just rappers, but just older people in the music industry that kind of try to shit on what younger rappers are doing, right? Ebro from Hot 97 is one of them who kind of shits on younger rappers, right? Fredro Starr just the other day called Royce the 5'9" a nerd rapper because he reads books books, right? And I know that Royce 5'9" and Fredro Starr are closer in age, but Fredro Starr is still like an older rapper compared to Royce 5'9", right? Even though Royce 5'9" is nowhere near a new rapper, right? It's just kind of weird because Bow Wow, if anybody were to, say this, it would be Little Bow Wow because he has such a crazy, unique perspective, right? Bow Wow is like a young old nigga, right? Where he is only 33 years old and that's young. Like Jules Santana's another young old nigga, right? He's only in his 30s, but he's also been in the game for 20 plus years, Little Bow Wow, right? So he's seen, everybody from Fat Joe, when he was hot and in his prime to like Lil Baby and the Baby right now, right? So for somebody like him, Lil Bow Wow, who's still young enough to understand and know what's hot, but old enough to respect hip hop because he's been in the game for 20 years, would say something like this, right? I mean, at the end of the day, man, I think Bow Wow is right. I mean, like, you should just let a young nigga do what he wants to do because at one point in time, everybody was a young nigga just wilding out and doing what they wanted to do, right? Why would you come at NLE Chopper and Blueface if you were older nigga because one day you were young and people were still coming at you and saying that hip hop is not real music and saying that hip hop is not gonna last. You remember those times? So it was all of that, right? So I think that Bow Wow is right and he's just talking straight facts, yo. But let me know what y'all think about this and everything else in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Follow me at Jonny Fastlane on Instagram and y'all already know what to do. Peace.